And next up, we have our masterclass 15, Importance of Your Written Introduction, Bio, Books, etc. And that is sponsored by Bring the World to Florida. Our speakers are Her Excellency Attorney Reverend Dr. Diane Moore Eubanks, Chaplain, and Director Her Excellency Cairo D.R. Eubanks, UNCSR CLC CEC Chaplain. Yes.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being a part of this masterclass, and you are all in for a treat. I just like for Dr. Diane Moore Eubanks, our Chancellor, to just say a few words before we go ahead and get started.
All right. So it's so important. Your introduction is so important. And many times when you're invited as speakers, you have to provide your bio, you have to provide your introduction. Now, number one, yes, you have to make sure you have the credentials, so they don't introduce you like, here's so and such, she was born so and such, she went to high school so and such, and that's it. That's boring. I don't know about you, but I don't want to listen to anybody like that. So you have to make sure that you have those credentials together. So you have to go through some kind of program. And some of you, all of you went through a program because you're here at GODSU. However, there are people I know that you've heard when you've gone to listen to speakers and they don't impress you, you know? So I'm saying that your bio must be impressive. Her Excellency Cairo has done bios for politicians, for ambassadors, for billionaires. She's done for ministers, coaches. I mean, you name it, she's done it. She did mine. She did so many people, and I've gotten awards by just presenting my my wonderful bio that she's done. I've gotten selected for different honors, awards, recognition. So yes, you have to have the credentials, but then your bio just has to be like, bam, you know? And so that's how she's helped myself and others. Also, if you need a book to be written, she's written books for those, alum here at GODSU that have done very well in our Amazon bestsellers. And she's done the actual book for them. How she's done it, she will explain to you. And she's just outstanding. I think we have a clip of her speaking at the United Nations. Can you pick up the clip, please? And what I'd like you to get from this is the following, okay? You have to have the credentials, you have to have the introduction, and then you have to do the work, all right? So that's basically what it is. And if you're given a speaking engagement, so after you have the credentials, you have the great bio, and now you have a speaking engagement, what if you're not a terrific speaker? She coaches, guys. So she can coach you on exactly how you pronounce your words, how you present yourself. And if you're a female or a male, His Excellency Dakar will help you as to how you need to appear. He styles me. So he does a good job. He does do I'm 59, next week? And he has me looking 39. Yes. So there's certain things that you want to do. And even if you don't look like him, he's in perfect shape, or Her Excellency Cairo, she's in perfect shape. I'm not in perfect shape. They're in perfect shape. What His Excellency Dakar and Her Excellency Cairo will encourage you to do, though, is to present the best you. So that's what she does with these bios, with these books, with when you give her your speaking engagements, her getting you ready to speak. So without further ado, I just wanted to show a little clip of what she does when she's put on the assembly floor, guys, of the United Nations, which is the United Nations for all the almost 200 countries in the world. Let's go.
I would like to first thank my mom, Attorney Dr. Diane Moore Eubanks, Chancellor of Global Ovid Day Seminary and University. My mom was born and raised in Jamaica. Fortunately, she never lost sight of her love and connection to Mother Africa. Not surprisingly, my parents gave me the name Cairo, like Egypt, while my siblings were named Dakar and Sudan, also in homage of Mother Africa. And I'm hoping that you'll be able to see my sister. Sudan, would you be so kind to come a little bit closer so everyone can see my 15-year-old sister who's here with me today. Conclusive evidence has shown that every human being derived from Africa. My mother allowed and developed me to embrace and cherish the motherland. The second lesson is to use your platform to create a seat at the table. for the next generation. I would like to also thank Queen Mother, the executive president of New Future Foundation, Inc., for using her platform to create a seat at the table for me as a youth representative, and for so many other youth. She fosters and encourages intergenerational dialogue in her fight for universal peace, justice, and harmony. And the third lesson is to create spaces where youth can be empowered to lead. Last, but certainly not least, I am truly grateful for the mentorship and lessons that Ms. Hawa Diallo has bestowed upon me. Please give her a round of applause. She cares immeasurably about social justice and empowering young people so much that she formed and spearheaded the UNDGC Youth Steering Committee. I shared with Ms. Diallo my vision of attracting and drawing youth to the United Nations by implementing the Storytelling with a Purpose Youth Interview Series. Because of her, I now co-host this initiative with my fellow committee members and think of innovative ways to reach my fellow civil society where they are. Through them collectively, I was deeply inspired to create a virtual village called Bringing the Globe, an international virtual student exchange platform where our goal is to provide empowerment through our innovative conference to online course model, access to resources, and opportunities to get involved in their communities on a local, national, and international level. Just this week, I spoke to an auditorium filled to capacity with high school students. Employing our workshop, Storytelling with a Purpose, we've assisted students in preparing for college applications, developing self-awareness, confidence, and a sense of purpose, among many other things. At the conclusion of this same conference, one young African-American woman named Ashley approached me to express what she was too shy to say during my interactive presentation. She told me, "Cairo, you have no idea how much it means to me. I deal with depression and low self-esteem. I don't even think highly of myself. But you being here has shown me how much you care, and that has changed my life." Can you imagine how I must have felt to hear that? My goal with Storytelling with a Purpose is to make SDGs more relatable by connecting students' passions and areas of interest of advocacy to the 17 SDGs. Since launching our programs for Bringing the Globe this year, we've impacted nearly 2,000 students like Ashley, and our goal is to impact at least 5,000 students by 2023. And guess what? We're only getting started. In the same way that my mentors who have poured into me over the years, it's now my obligation and my duty to humbly carry this torch from my mentors and continue to dedicate my life to being a vessel to educate, inspire, and nurture the next generation of pace setters. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I actually had no idea that they were going to share that today. So it's a wonderful surprise, but a very happy one to get that sort of support, not just from GODSU, but also from one of my biggest mentors. But that being said, you know, what I shared when I talked about storytelling with a purpose, the purpose is to be able to have students reach back, find their narrative, and to be able to express it and communicate why they are passionate about what they're doing, right? So when I think about professional biography, and I really do keep that sort of mindset in mind when I'm working with my clients and I talk to them about their biographies. Excuse me, His Excellency Dakar, would you be so kind to put back some of the notes that I have here? And as he's pulling them up, what I do want to let everyone know is that your professional biography, just like Chancellor Dr. Diane said, is not just about where you were born, where you were raised, etc., but it's supposed to be a narrative. It's supposed to be able to differentiate you from others. Right. So let's say, for example, that we are in a room full of physicians, right? Or we're in a room full of entrepreneurs who are running their different businesses, right? Let's say that we're working with that entrepreneur example. Everyone has their company, right? But what sets you apart? Let's say that we're in a room full of chefs, right? What is your secret sauce? And this is what I call a secret sauce of a professional biography, is the 4 components. The first component is to make sure that you have your philanthropic endeavors all in one place, right? So what do you do to give back to the community? And I want everyone to think long and hard about this, because it's so true that when I talk to a lot of servant leaders, right, a lot of people who are chaplains at heart, they forget all of the amazing work that they're doing in the community. But you are oftentimes so much more than what you do in your workday, right? Oftentimes, and many of us as global workers of God or servant leaders, we have initiatives that we're either supporting or that we've created ourselves. And it's important to make sure that you highlight that in your biography. So that's number 1. And I want people to really be thinking about this. Think about, how am I giving back? What sort of community service am I doing? And even if you think about some of the work that you do for GODSU in terms of being able to give your talents and your services to be able to continue to build and uplift those within our GODSU, sphere, that counts as community service as well. So you need to be thinking about that what should I say, in terms of tying or connecting the assignment that Chancellor gives you or calls you to do, to make sure that you're also highlighting that in your biography, because that's one way for us to continue to empower or continue to bring attention to GODSU and what we're doing. Next, your background. So I just talk about your philanthropic endeavors, but when it comes to your background, we have different backgrounds, right? Not just your academic. So, what you did in school, the sort of degrees or certifications that you have that related to your field, but also your cultural background. So I have, for example, different leaders that I've worked with who have, they've immigrated or they've migrated from Nigeria, let's say Lagos State, for example. I have someone there who came to the United States, and she still runs a foundation back in her home country, Nigeria, right? So she is a Nigerian American, very proud, right? But her story of how she's being able to contribute so impactfully and meaningfully to thousands of people within her, in terms of where she's from, that is counted as part of her cultural background, right? Because I'm able to tie, for example, where she came from to where she is now and how she's continuing to give very concentrated within that sphere. Third, we have awards and certifications. So talking about the ways in which you are being recognized, right, for the accomplishments that you've had. There have been people where I've actually coached them and worked with them and asked them certain questions, and they said, wait a second, I forgot that I received this very commendable award, or I received national recognition. But you have to remember that when you have that inside of your biography, in the same way that Dr. Frazier was talking about money being a certificate of appreciation, this is a way in which you're adding value to your biography. So it's not just about, for example, your business and what your business provides, but then looking back at what you have been recognized for and what you have been, celebrated to continue to do. It gives you elevation and it allows you to be edified in a different way. Last, but certainly not least, the fourth secret ingredient for the secret sauce, I like to call it, is what differentiates you from others in your field. And I talked a little bit about that, but we all have stories. We all have different challenges that we've experienced or that we've overcome in order to get to the place where we are now. Is that true or not true, right? So, for example, I know that we heard from Assistant Dean Dr. Charles earlier today when he was talking about how he is championing different initiatives throughout the continent of Africa and here in the United States as it relates to overcoming certain traumas, right? But you wouldn't understand the significance of his story and why what he's doing is even so impactful if he did not share with you his own childhood and some of the things that he had to overcome overcome to now do what he's doing today. And so I mean, I have had so many clients that I've worked with who have called me and have told me, you know, almost in tears, like, I can't believe that this is really me that you're talking about, or is this really my biography? But the thing about it is that I'm not bragging, I'm not boasting. What I'm doing is I see the work that you have done, and then I'm able to edify you in written form. And so the biographies that I've created, for example, through Cairo Speaks, Cairo Writes, are one-page professional biographies that highlight those 4 key areas. I'll go over them one more time. The first is your philanthropic endeavors. The second would be your cultural, your academic background. The third would be your awards and certifications. And then the fourth would be what differentiates you from others in your field. One thing I wanted to share with you is that it is really challenging oftentimes to work with some of my clients who have such impressive biographies to try to get it down to a one-page master copy. But what I will say is that God has definitely given me this gift to be able to, you know, translate some of my clients' thoughts onto paper to really bring out the best in them through Cairo Writes. And so I consider it, you know, really a part of my service to my fellow man to be able to hear their story and to be able to craft it in a one page that is coherent, understandable, and also highlights all of their achievements very succinctly. So if this is something that is of interest to you, please feel free to reach out to me. My email is info@cairospeaks.com. That's info@cairospeaks.com. I have a 15-minute at no cost consultation that I offer to all of those who are interested in learning how to be able to craft a one-page biography that really expresses and articulates all of the work that they've done without feeling like they have to brag or boast about themselves. Allow me to be able to elevate you in this way. And with that being said, I'll go ahead and turn it back over to our Chancellor, Dr. Diane Moore Eubanks.
Oh, thank you so much. This is outstanding, guys. Let me see everybody and let's give her a hand. Outstanding, outstanding, outstanding. Thank you so much. And as I said, just the work that Her Excellency Cairo has done for myself, has done for billionaire builder Michael V. Roberts, one of the first Black billionaires in this country, done for the Ambassador of Ghana, Ambassador of Nigeria, all these various people that she's worked for, just amazing work she's done. And, you know, because we're humble people, we don't show off or anything like that, but it's great when someone can write on your behalf and capture everything that's there. All righty. Thank you so much.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. I want you all to like, subscribe, comment, and share. And stay tuned. We have some more messages that follow. I'd love to see you tomorrow morning as we do have our God Success Teach and Pray every day. And I look forward to seeing you next week on our Wednesday Icon Talk. Thank you.